Welcome back, everyone. And now for tonight's scary story, which is going to be The Haunted House in the Dark Forest. It was a night colder than death itself. The sky wept tears of ice as the wind, like a banshee, howled through the gnarled branches of the ancient forest. The trees swayed ominously, their shadows dancing like wraiths upon the frozen ground. No one ever dared to walk the path leading into the forest, especially at night. For those who had heard the tales knew that once the sun dipped below the horizon, the woods became a hunting ground for things best left undisturbed. But for four friends, curiosity was a greater lure than any danger. Their names were Lily, Jake, Emma, and Ben. They stood at the edge of the forest, the entrance hidden by a veil of thick, thorny bushes. An old, dilapidated house loomed before them, its windows like vacant eyes staring back at them. Legend spoke of a woman who met a gruesome end within those four walls, her spirit forever bound to the house, doomed to wander its halls, screaming in rage and seeking revenge on those who dared to enter. Despite the chilling tale, or perhaps because of it, the friends decided to venture inside. As they pushed open the creaking door, the musty air of ages past rushed to greet them. Moonlight spilled through grimy window panes, illuminating swirling dust motes and casting eerie shadows that writhed like tormented souls. The floorboards groaned beneath their weight, each step echoing in the oppressive silence like a death knell. The walls were adorned with strange, inexplicable markings, some crude, some intricate, all whispering of a history both sorrowful and sinister. A sudden crash from within the house sent a jolt of adrenaline through the group. They froze, hearts pounding, straining to listen. In the ensuing silence, their own footsteps rang out loud and clear. They continued deeper into the house. A chill wind seemed to swirl around them, raising goosebumps on their arms despite the stifling heat. Then came the sound again, footsteps, heavy and measured, as if someone were pacing just beyond their sight. Fear gnawed at their resolve, yet their curiosity burned brighter. What if the stories were true? What if there really was a ghost here? The idea, terrifying as it was, held a strange allure. As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a rocking chair. It swayed gently back and forth, as if propelled by an invisible hand. In the dim light, they could make out the faint outline of a woman seated in the chair. Startled, they turned to flee, but the sight that greeted them froze their blood. The friends had stumbled into the living room, and there on the floor, amidst the debris of shattered glass and overturned furniture, lay a single red high-heel shoe. It was intricately carved and beautiful, yet somehow sinister, like the grin of a Cheshire cat. It was then that they remembered the legend. They recalled tales spun by villagers of a woman named Eliza who lived in the house. She had been a recluse, they said, shunned by the townspeople for her strange ways. Then one day she had vanished. Her house had been found ransacked, her whereabouts unknown, until years later when her skeleton was discovered in the very room they now occupied. They whispered that she had been brutally murdered, killer never caught. Her spirit trapped within the house, forever seeking retribution. Now, standing in the heart of that house, surrounded by the relics of the past, they realized they might not be alone. As if summoned by their thoughts, the rocking chair began to move faster, its rhythm growing more frantic. The friends screamed and scattered, their terror echoing through the empty halls. Suddenly, a vase on a side table crashed to the floor, sending shards flying. A door slammed shut, as if by an invisible hand, and then they felt it, a cold, unseen presence brushing against their skin. They whirled around, their eyes wide with fear, but saw nothing in the gloom. Yet they knew they were being watched, stalked by something unseen in the darkness. Then the lights flickered and died, plunging them into absolute darkness. A scream tore through the silence, echoing their own terror. One of them, Ben, vanished without a sound. In an instant, the others were upon him, their fingers clawing at empty space where he had stood a moment before. Panic surged through them. Was he taken by the ghost? Had it claimed another victim? As their eyes adjusted to the gloom, they saw a figure at the top of the stairs, bathed in the pale moonlight. It was a woman. Her form was translucent, wavering like a mirage. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and from her lips came a sound, not a scream, but a wordless, gut-wrenching wail that seemed to suck the very air from their lungs. They watched, paralyzed with fear, as the ghostly woman glided down the stairs, each step silent, each movement precise. She came closer, her face illuminated by a flash of lightning. It was beautiful, yet twisted in an eternal scream. Her eyes, wide and vacant, stared straight ahead, seeing none of them. Yet they knew she was aware of their presence. She passed right through them, her icy touch sending shivers down their spines. That had nothing to do with the night chill. Then she was upon them, reaching out a hand that seemed to pass through solid objects. Her voice, a hollow whisper in their ears, and she spoke of pain, of betrayal, of a murder most foul. They wanted to scream, to run, to do anything but stand there frozen, while the ghost of Eliza poured out her sorrow, her rage, her pain. When she finally ceased speaking, they found their voices, their screams echoing through the halls of the haunted house. They fled, stumbling over each other in their haste to escape the clutches of the house and the spectre that dwelt within. Outside, in the relative safety of the moonlight, they dared not stop running. They didn't dare look back. They didn't dare speak. For what use were words against a horror that defied understanding? In the aftermath, only one would tell the tale. The one who made it out, trembling and bloodied, whispering the horrifying truth to anyone who would listen. The stories were never myths. She's real, and she's still inside. Then they would fade away, leaving the listeners with more questions than answers, and the forest would fall silent once more, hiding its secrets deep within its dark and thorny embrace. The camera fades out with the sound of distant screaming. And there you have it, folks, another chilling tale from my channel. If you love these stories and want to see more, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload. I always appreciate your support. Now it's time for me to ask you guys a question. Would you dare to step into the haunted house in the dark forest? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and beware of ghosts.